9th of September, 12:30 p.m. These will be 12-minute segments that I'm doing for according to whatever topic I'm working on. Right now, I want to talk about political targeting in the United States. I'm an activist. I'm like, no more political targeting. What do I mean by political targeting? My name is SYLVIA Morelos. I am a first-generation college student and I graduated from UCLA with a bachelor's degree in Latin American Studies, and I graduated in 2003. I'm also a bona fide member of the UCLA UCLA Alumni Association. You can find me online, LYDIA Morelos, SYLVIA. My middle name is LYDIA, and my last name is Morelos, M as in Mary, ORELOS, and you can find me in the UCLA Alumni Association directory. And only people who have graduated from college are part of their alumni associations, just so that FYI. I'm very proud of that accomplishment. I also used to write for the Daily Bruin when I was 21. I was on my way out. I should have graduated in 1996, I'm sorry, and I was accepted at UCLA in 1992 as an 18-year-old, and I should have graduated in 96, but I had to deal with a lot of different types of people and some issues that came up because of them, and I left eventually in 97. I finished school in 2003 finally, and to these extremists that I was dealing with back then, I said, I finished school in spite of you, not to spite you. That would be giving you too much power. And when I was 18 years old, I was targeted by someone on campus, and he was into illegal immigration, and I was targeted by his name is Raul Bayan Lomeli, L-O-M as in Mary, E-L-I, and I was targeted by him on campus at UCLA, and he facilitated illegal immigrants onto campus, students, and I don't believe in illegal immigration. I'm a Republican, and I eventually realized that UCLA was too far left at the time. And at the time that I wrote for when in 97, I was older when I wrote for the Daily Bruin Viewpoint. We were dealing with Proposition 209, Proposition 187, which had to do with illegal immigration. And I wrote for the Daily Bruin Viewpoint, winter quarter of 1997. I only went by SYLVIA Morelos. I didn't use my middle name. And UCLA used to have an online archive for the Daily Bruin. They don't have an online archive for the Daily Bruin anymore. So you have to literally go to the Daily Bruin office at Kirchhoff Hall. It's a coffee house. It has a coffee house on the second floor. But Kirchhoff Hall, the Daily Bruin, is located on the first floor. And you can go and ask for certain columns. SYLVIA Morelos, M-O-R-E-L-O-S, Morelos, winter quarter 1997. And I was told by I believe her name was Emily there at the Daily Bruin over the phone, that the columns date back. Their newspaper is archived at the Daily Bruin. They date back all the way to the 1920s. So that would be really interesting. And if I go down back to Santa Monica or Westwood, my alma mater, I would be thrilled to just take a look at my columns again, because I haven't taken a look at my original columns since I was 21, so that would be really interesting for me to just take a look at everything I wrote about back then. And it had to do with issues pertaining to those particular times, and in this case it's the Proposition 209, 187, illegal immigration. Political targeting, it has to do with, as a survivor actually, or as somebody who's lived through it, I was considered the wrong kind of politics, the wrong kind of Latina, the wrong kind of Mexican, because I'm a Republican, and I was formulating my politic at UCLA, and that's a good way. I think someone put it that formulating my politics. That's a good way of looking at it, because I was green, I was wet behind the ears, you name it, and how do you deal with political targeting on a college campus? And at that time it had to do with illegal immigration and the issues that were happening. I had somebody watched somebody in the background. That person, these people passing by. Anyway, it had to do with political targeting, and what my politic was, which is conservative values politics. I don't believe in illegal immigration. I don't believe in quotas or affirmative action. I don't believe. I'm not too familiar with the Federal Reserve or what we do with the Federal Reserve, but I'm not too. Actually, that's the truth. I need to brush up on certain things about the Federal Reserve, but the central bank and the IMF and all that stuff. That's part of the Federal Reserve. That's politics. But I'm just babbling. That's not my strongest point. The economics, I had to deal with targeting from people who were, those are extremists on campus, because homegrown extremism is what I want to focus this on. Political targeting is a form of extremism. It began on campus at UCLA. I left campus because of some other aspects of the targeting, and it went from extremism, targeting, to extremism, and they became homegrown terrorists, some of them. And I'm a human rights activist, and I believe in pacifism. I don't believe that violence works for anything, and I believe in law and order and in the Constitution of the United States. If you go onto my online work, I have several blogs, and I have a lot of videos on YouTube, and I have more than one YouTube page now, because these extremists unfortunately hacked into my emails, into my blogs, into my YouTube. I had all my passwords for into my notebooks, and they've been stolen. And they redid my my emails, and I couldn't log into my email accounts anymore, or my YouTube page, or my old blogs. I have to start a new YouTube, I have to start a new blog, but you will find my old stuff still on there. And I believe they may have actually deleted one of my Twitter accounts. I go by Sylvia Moore 1974, and I had another one, I had Sil Moore 1974 1, and I can't find it, and I did not delete it myself. So they've gone into my bank account, and they've stolen from me, or they've stolen from me my personal documents, identifying documents, California ID included, and they've gone into my bank account, figured out my passcode with the PRISM technology and stuff like that. 1776 was back then. They figured out my passcodes, used my ATM, Ana Ayala accordingly, and they went through the Compass Bank, Ana Ayala went through the Compass Bank, and they withdrew money, literally $180, and I received two $4 charges per transaction for those charges, and I bank with Bank of America. And she ended up eating, or her friend ended up eating from the money that I have I had cash on me, and her friend ended up her 84-member gang. It's about 80 people there, right? Yeah, yeah. Her in Houston, they ended up eating with the money and the cash that I had, and they laughed at me. I mean, they showed me that they were eating with the cash that and I had to figure out how to eat every fucking day and go to resource centers. I've been working all of my life. Since I was 15 years old, I obtained a legal work permit from your high school counseling office, and if you're under 16, then you can actually work. You just have to obtain a legal work permit. I'm not an illegal alien. I'm a U.S. citizen. My mom and my grandmother were actually legal citizens. I don't think a lot of people know that. They were legal citizens, and both from Mexico. And my mom was a legal resident, my grandmother was a legal resident, and I'm a U.S. citizen myself, a child of legal residence. And I was taught a work ethic at a very young age. So I began working legally when I was 15 years old, and I obtained a work permit at Los Angeles High School, and I began to work near Rimpau, R-I-M-P-A-U, and Olympic at an elementary school in a nurse's office during the summer, the very first job. helping out the nurse, being a nurse's assistant, helping out the nurse. And then about a year or so later, I began working at a movie theater, the Beverly Connection, across the street from the Beverly Connection across the street from the Beverly Center. And it was called the Beverly Connection Movie Theater, and I had my little bow tie with my little vest and my little, little pants, not corduroy pants, but little the little job working pants, and cleaning theaters, popcorn, things like that. And I used to go with a co-worker to eat across the street at the on the food court across the street at the Beverly Center. A&W root beer's got that frosty McTaste. But anyway, this is what I did when I was 15. What my point is that I've been working since I was 15 years old, and I've always been an honest person. I've always been an honest worker, and I've always had my own keep. My mistakes are my own mistakes. My what I have or what I don't have been mine for a while until they got involved in my life. So I've never stolen from anyone. I've never taken from anyone. I've never. I mean, I've had my flaws, obviously, but I've never gone after anyone's property, their home, over their head. It starts to hurt after a while, okay, the losses in the morning and stuff. So they've stolen from me, $300 worth of clothing one time. I love skirts and I love long dresses. And in Mission Beach, I bought some dresses and skirts at Mission Beach. $300 of clothing, and I was brand new clothing, and I was very, very angry about the stuff and clothing that I put online, like when I was at the, one of my hotel rooms on YouTube, and property, like stuffed animals, things like that, and I lost my property because of them, and I'm sick of it. I'm very sick of it. And tort law, Tortlaw, it's the intent behind the theft that happens with tort law. Moral turpitude is an understatement. I took a criminal law class, and through the city of San Diego, and I received an A in the class, and it was a really wonderful class. And the professor was a chief of police, and former chief of police of San Diego, and she teaches a law class at San Diego State, and she was a great teacher, and I learned a lot from that one class alone. And but my point is this is a short segment, my time's up, but what is political targeting? It begins on campus. And what do we do about political targeting and homegrown extremism? You educate the public. So I would encourage people to find out what political targeting is about, where it's happening. If you're a victim of political targeting, keep a diary, keep a journal, date it, time it, because your voice is important. You look back a month later, a year later, 10 years later, and you find out how you validated yourself by keeping a journal which keeps track of how you're feeling, what you're seeing, what you're doing. It becomes relevant as a primary document because it becomes pertinent to proving what you've been through with first-hand experience and first-hand account. And first-hand account is the truth. And you'll find my stuff online. And I've been through torture, I've been through theft, I've been through a couple of rapes, I've been through attempts at my life, 4 at least, and the loss of a child, a loss of normal relationships that I couldn't see straight for a while because of what the people that I was dealing with. Anyway, this is SYLVIA Morelos. This is the end of my segment. It's 13 minutes so far, and I will talk again. Thanks a lot, and it's 12:43 on the 29th of September, and I will get back to you. Thanks a lot. Bye.